Today on the channel, the Fall in Love with Books collab. Hello everyone, my name is Misty Nicole with LadyPrefersToSave.com, and this is my handsome husband, Daniel. Welcome back to the channel, and again today is another wonderful collab, this time hosted by the Simply Rugged Life, and it is the Fall in Love with Books collab. Today is all about the books we will be reading this fall and information on how you can find these books and ways that you'll be able to see our reviews of the books moving forward.
Alright guys, we're going to start out with our individual lists for this fall. I'm going to start out with one of my favorites. I'm a big Stephen King fan. I've been wanting to read Joyland for a while, so this is going to be on the top of my list. A series we enjoyed was Turn, which was on AMC, and I actually have the paper book. It actually goes into the actual Culpeper ring, talking about the true history behind that show, so I'm looking forward to reading that. I have Inheritance, which is the last book in this series. It's a series that started a long time ago, kind of fizzled out as far as finishing. I got distracted, and so I'm going to be finishing this series up in the fall. A lot of political discussions have been talking about, like, issues democracy's been having around the world. As an anthropologist and a former member of the United States Army, how democracies die. Talks about history of, like, for example, what happened in Germany prior to the Nazis and stuff like that. So this is really insightful history, which I'm hoping to dig into this fall. Two more books on my list. I'm going back to one of my favorites, Stephen King, Firestarter. One of his classics. If you remember, this was one of the original Drew Barrymore movies. If you remember seeing that, so I'm actually going to get to read the book form of it. And the last was actually a Christmas present from my wife that I hadn't got around to reading, but Anne Rice's The Wolf Gift, right? So I like werewolves more than vampires, and this promises to be right in my alley. So that's my list for this fall.
A lot of my reading material in half, and so these will be the first of the books that I'll read this fall, and most likely I will be able to get through all of these titles in September, so I'm going to call this my monthly reading list. I'm going to start with some of the titles for cooking and things around the home, and the first is this brand new title that I received on review, and so I'm excited about air fryer recipes. Also, I want to read this about aromatherapy. There's actually some very good recipes in here for PCOS symptoms, as well as for migraines and sciatic back pain, and so I'm really interested in that. I also have really been dipping my toe lately into home ferments, and so I definitely want to pick that up and give it a go. Hopefully it's going to be really good, and the photography is really awesome, so I'm excited about that. And the last cookbook is going to be all about waffles, and so I'm hoping to be able to use up some of our spices that we have on hand and see what we can do in terms of waffle making. Now for books, I am going to reread this book out loud, and it is former President Barack Obama's The Audacity of Hope, and this will be something that I would like to read with our family. There's a lot of very good information, and so this is something I think we can all bear to hear from again. And now, some of the following books will be books that I will read in the afternoons and evenings, and some of them will be books that I can read in my quiet time in the morning. And the first of which is going to be the collected poems of Emily Dickinson. I definitely want to delve into that. And a couple oldie but goodies. I am going to read Love and Friendship, including the unfinished story of Lady Susan by none other than Jane Austen. I'm also going to read from the same author, Sense and Sensibility, which is actually the first book that she penned and still one of my absolute favorites. And as this opens in the fall of the year, I thought this would be a perfect read. I'm also going to be reading this review title that I received, and it is from Kelly Irvin, and it is Through the Autumn Air, and had some pretty good reviews of this, and I've read others in the series, and so I'm kind of excited because it is more in the novella style, and there's actually 4 stories in this, and it received some pretty good reviews, so I'm excited about that. And finally, I really want to delve into the 365 devotions for a thankful heart, particularly the passages of the fall, and I'm hoping that these will coincide with our seasonal thankful wreath that we make each year. We go through the entirety from September 21st through, September 22nd through December, no, that's September 21st to December 22nd, from equinox to equinox, to make sure that we are putting out, something that we are very thankful for. And what we're going to do is write physically down on natural leaves what we're grateful for. We then mini clothespin them to a wreath, and I'm hoping to have a devotional each morning to kind of go along with that, because a lot of times we'll get the leaves when we do our morning walks with our pets as a family, and so I'm hoping that will be something that would kind of go hand in hand for us. Keep in mind, again, these are my September reads. I read very, very fast.
Yeah,
and so
she's my hero.
that will probably be gone very quickly, but I'm hoping definitely to get these books read. Some of them might be passed on and donated to the library, so I would love to bless some other people later this season, and so that's why I kind of want to get a head start on that. With that said, I will put the link in the description bar to each of these titles. I will also put in some links to some of my favorite reading resources and ways that you can find free reading materials online, as well as to one of my former blog posts that list dozens of ways that you can receive and read free materials this season. And I will also be sharing my reviews of these titles on my Instagram page, and the information for that is in the description bar below. I love to add these to my Instagram stories, and of course we'll also add them to my Instagram highlights. So if you'd like to hear how I liked these titles, be sure to check that out over the course of the month, and again, the link to that is in the description bar below. And with that said, again, remember this is a collaboration, and it is from the Simply Rugged Life. Be sure to check out that channel. The link to both this collab as well as the wonderful ladies in this collaboration will be in the description bar below. And with that said, we would love it if you would hit that little red subscribe button, turn on notifications, give us a thumbs up, and leave me a comment and let me know how your reading list is shaping up this season. If you have any special reads in mind, is there anything that you have reserved at your local library that you are excited to read? I definitely would love to hear about that. And with that said, please be kind to yourself and to others. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and thank you again.